You get the bags, Hugo. I'll open up the house.
Righto, darling.
Hugo?
Yes, darling?
You remember I gave you 3 jobs before we left?
I do, Melissa, and I did them all. I cancelled the papers.
Yes, you did. You emptied the bins too.
And I released the clowns.
Don't, Hugo. I said don't release the clowns.
Ah.
Welcome to Release the Clowns. We're going behind the clowns again with more interviews with our writers and one very special performer, Holly Meechan, who starred in the intro you've just heard. Hi, Holly.
Hello.
Nice to speak to you.
You too.
Hi, Holly.
Hi, Nick.
So having heard it, do you remember that now?
I do now, yes. Yeah, when you said what it was, I had absolutely no recollection. But upon hearing it, I had a big smile at remembering it. Epic sound effects as well.
Lots of SFX in there.
Great SFX.
Oh, yes.
So before we go any further, we should introduce ourselves as well. I'm Alex Marion.
Oh, and I'm Nick Hildred. Hello.
And what are we going to be doing today, Nick?
Well, we are going to have a listen to a sketch that Holly has chosen of all the many, many, many sketches she's been in. And we're going to listen to it and then talk about it with her.
There were many. I made a list and it was long.
It was long. Yes.
So, shall we listen to the sketch?
Okay.
Oh, yes.
This is a great place for a first date, Colin. I love the bagpipes.
That's the fiddle.
Marvellous.
Yeah, you can't beat Irish music. Or the Irish, lovely people, so warm and friendly. I love them. I'll probably end up marrying one.
Oh, well, here's to St. Patrick's Day, my favourite day of the year, when I can drink a toast to my ancestors.
I didn't know you were Irish.
Oh, yes, born and raised.
It's just, the accent.
Oh, I get that all the time. No, I'm from County Cardiff, just outside Dublin.
Strange. Your dating profile said your surname is Jones.
No, it's O'Jones. Yeah, Cerys O'Jones. That's me. I'm as Irish as they come. It's why I only eat potatoes. And I love the colour green. And I have a tattoo of a shamrock. Yeah, see?
That's the 3 of clubs.
Never mind. You play your cards right, and who knows what might happen.
Yeah, who knows? Anyway, I'll join you in raising a glass to all the great things Ireland's given us. The Giant's Causeway, Guinness, River Dance.
Leprechauns?
Except they're not real.
What about Graham Norton?
He's a human.
Would you believe it?
And here's to all the great Irish people throughout history. James Joyce, Oscar Wilde, Daniel Day-Lewis.
Father Ted?
Again, not real.
Oh.
Cerys, let's be honest, you're not really Irish, are you?
Hey, what's the crack with that? Of course I am. Ya big Egypt.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. Can I get you another Guinness?
Oh, not likely, boyo. It tastes like a liquefied loaf of bread blended with cabbage and Kenko. I'll have a mineral water from the valleys. To be sure.
Oh. So, what drew you to that sketch in particular?
Good question. Well, yeah. As you know, I've got a pretty shocking memory these days, so I had to ask you for a list of all the sketches I've been in. And it was a really difficult choice because there were so many, just so many brilliant things that I've had the honour to be a part of. But yeah, just upon listening to that one again, it really made me chuckle. It's just so silly. And even just the idea of itself as me, an English woman playing a Welsh woman trying to be an Irish woman, I just think it's just really daft. it was just really fun to do. I also realised that me and Alex have been on lots of dates in the clowns.
We do appear to have been, don't we?
Yeah, that wasn't the only one actually.
They never work out.
No, but it's just so we've got more material for the future, right? Yeah. But yeah, I just love that one. Really silly, and I love doing accents as well. So I got to do my Welsh, which is always fun.
And it's such a good Welsh accent too.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, I can't do Welsh.
I think we should give credit to the writers there as well. That was, if I remember rightly, that's Jamie and Andrew, isn't it?
It is indeed. I was just going to say it is Jamie Leach and Andrew Kirkwood, who were on the show last week. Well, and I think it is that thing of you playing Welsh, playing Irish. It is just sublime. It's just so stupid.
I've got to say, it's a real pleasure to straight man in a sketch like that, because you really your performance is just so fast. You just go. All I can do is just hang on and try and keep up. And it's just really good fun.
Which you do brilliantly. I think that's my favourite bit actually, when they're like, not real. And he's human. Graham Norton.
Graham Norton.
It's those little quick fire.
Who'd have thought it?
That make it, yeah. Yeah, no, the writing's just spot on. It was really fun. One of the many fun moments.
Yes, the Release the Clowns funness, which hopefully we'll be getting back to very shortly.
Fingers crossed. I mean, yeah, that's what I really, really miss actually. And that sketch was obviously brilliant fun doing with Alex. But I think some of my favourite kind of clowns moments is when there are like 5 or 6 of us in the booth, all doing a big sketch together. Like,
yeah,
just riffing off each other and laughing. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, you were the woman sitting in the tree shouting "Heather Sidge." And there must have been 6 or 7 of us in the booth for that.
Yeah, and the same for the social media sketch we were just mentioned earlier as well. There was like, I think at least 5 or 6 of us, and me and Gemma both playing like double parts, like with different voices. It was crazy. It was really funny. Really.
Yeah, that was a cast of thousands, wasn't it? From half a dozen.
Yeah, there's like 14 parts or something, and there's about 5 or 6 of us doing it. Yeah, it was mad.
I think you were in the Sweet Sally Wainwright sketch as well, weren't you?
Sweet Sally Wainwright. Yes, I completely forgot about that one as well.
Is that Sweet Sally Wainwright of Mafeking Terrace?
Yes, 14B above the sweet shop.
Yeah.
Now, listeners,
with my to date first and only bit of original music.
I think the best thing about that original bit of music. Now, listeners, I have to explain. Alex's musicianship is unequaled.
It's otherworldly, isn't it?
He's almost otherworldly. So he had an idea for the music, which he then sang to us. And then when we all went, "Oh, could you sing it again?" He sang it to us again, but the notes weren't the same.
Yes, it's all flooding back to me now.
It's an improvisational technique that I use. Never the same twice. Don't get bored.
Don't get bored. But yeah, I think we just went with it, luckily, but having good improv skills.
Right, well, exactly.
How did it go, Alex? Go on, give us a recap.
Sweet Sally Wainwright of Mafeking Terrace, 14B above the sweet shop. La 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 la.
Not even close. Not even close.
La, da, 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 da.
Yeah, that's a Sweet Sally Wainwright 2.0.
Well, of course, I mean, the thing is, where we met, Alex, you and me, was doing improv.
That's right, yeah, the Free Association. Quite a few years ago now.
I know, it's a long time, isn't it?
It has been a while, hasn't it? Yeah.
And are you still doing improv?
I am. Well, at the moment, only online. But yes, I'm with a team called Rhinoceros, and were pre-pandemic running our own monthly comedy night in Kilburn at the North London Tavern, where we perform a set and have guest comedians, mostly kind of character comedy and other improv. That we were running for about a year or so, but obviously had to stop with everything else live and fun and exciting and in the flesh. But yeah, we are still practicing online on Zoom, and kind of got a couple of ideas in the pipeline for something radio-y, podcasty, improvised. So yeah, I'm doing
exciting.
Yeah, watch this space. It doesn't quite exist yet, but we're working on it.
And of course, now you're down in Bristol. Have you planned on hooking up with anyone down there?
Yeah, well, I mean, I do have a partner already. But keep that one on the down low. Improv wise, I'm assuming you meant there, Alex.
I did.
Also, the other kind of hooking up really not possible during a pandemic either.
No.
I'm so sorry for all the single people.
Is dogging still happening? That's sort of socially distanced, isn't it?
I don't know why you're asking us, Alex.
I can confirm dogging is still going.
Good, thank you.
That's why I'm asking you.
You. Yes, improv-wise, there is a good scene here in Bristol, the Bristol Improv Theatre, and quite a lot going on, but again, just not much at the moment. So yeah, I definitely hope to kind of become part of the scene and do things down here, but I haven't really had the chance just yet because I moved during lockdown 1.0. So yeah, still kind of finding my feet really, and mostly doing things online at the moment. Yeah.
Do you find improv much harder online?
Yeah, it's definitely a different. I mean, you've still got all the same skills, I'd say, that you're practicing, but it took a bit of getting used to, and there are certain things that don't work, but there are kind of new things that you can do as well. So it's been fun exploring that. But yeah, it is definitely a different medium, but there's lots of potential and lots to have fun with. So it is enjoyable. Yeah.
So what sort of new skills? What would you say is an advantage of improv online?
I guess because you're sort of working with the frame, aren't you? So you can do sort of more filmic things, and you can kind of play with camera on, camera off, coming into shot, out of shot, props as well. Like, you know, usually in improv shows, you don't have any props at all. It's all mime, like space work. But I always have loads of weird things around me just because I'm a hoarder. And so like, it's been fun just kind of like, something comes up in a scene and you can grab it really quickly and like make it part of the scene. That's quite fun. And yeah, just kind of thinking of that frame of the square, like how to use that more interestingly, you know, as a kind of camera angle, as opposed to, you know, the wider live audience things. There's lots of fun stuff to play with, which is new. Yeah.
That's a genuinely fascinating answer, Holly. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Oh, lovely. Yeah, I do. That's one of the things I love about doing Release the Clowns. We're just doing kind of the radio format is just the freedom as an actor, like of being able to be anyone, you know, like I was thinking through again of all the different characters we've had, of like playing a pregnant gerbil or like an old lady, you know, like that's what I love about it, is being able to do all these weird and wonderful characters that you might not be able to do so much in the theatre.
Are there any other questions we should really ask one of our wonderfully best performers? Well, number one, just a personal one to you. Will you be able to do a sketch or two with us?
Yeah.
Will you be able to fit into your schedule?
Absolutely. I would always make time for Release the Clowns. I absolutely love doing it. It's just a joy to be part of. Yeah.
Because it should be, in theory, easier to organise because everyone isn't having to come to a certain place at a certain time, if you know what I mean.
Yes, true. You won't have the admin nightmare. You'll have to send us soup in the post.
So, Holly, which soup?
Oh, well, do you know what? Actually, Nick changed my life with the revelation that is celery soup. It's
Celery
now,
soup.
I
Oh
had
my God.
I'd never made, I don't think I'd ever even eaten celery soup before Nick made it for us at a recording, and it was a revelation to me. It's now one of my absolute faves that I make. I think it's the best thing you can do with celery, actually.
Oh, absolutely. I think
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm afraid I'm going to have to disagree with that. I
Really?
use celery in almost everything.
In almost everything, like
Yeah.
the shower.
Well, yeah, I always did that, but now I use it in cooking as well.
Ah. It's a good shoehorn too.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's
excellent.
perfectly
Yeah.
so. Well, funny you should mention that actually, because at this very moment on my cooker, I'm making chicken stock,
Nice.
and I shall use that chicken stock this very evening in a celery and leek soup.
Oh, lovely. Do you pop a potato in there as well to give it a nice texture? Do you?
Actually, I wasn't going to.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. I just wondered because I never asked you for your recipe. I just had a go at making it myself, and
No.
it is pretty delicious. And sometimes I pop a potato in.
Yeah, actually, a lot of people do pop a potato in.
Yeah, it's quite nice to say that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pop a
Pop a potato.
Pop a potato
Pop a
in.
potato. Pop a potato.
It's a nightmare for plosives, though. You know, if
Oh,
you
sorry.
the microphone. That's why I've never done a pop a potato sketch.
Right.
I haven't
Oh,
even got a pop shield here, or a pop
Oh.
potato shield.
You haven't even got a pop a potato shield.
I haven't. No.
The world's gone mad.
I've got a proper pop a potato shield.
So I'm now thinking about a pop-up potato, like a pop-up bar.
There you go. That's sketch number 2 written for you. Done.
This is being a very useful, fertile conversation, Holly. For
Basically a brainstorming session.
it is.
Yeah.
For Alex's non-existent sketch writing so far.
That's ideal.
Yeah. No, the problem is what I now have is 2 really good things to add to my really long list of things I haven't written.
Great.
Yay!
Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for really at the moment, Holly. So we are going to have to
Oh.
say goodbye. Nick,
So
Yes.
sad.
What?
I just segued into wrapping up for you there.
It wasn't really
Yeah.
a segue. It just went, that's all we got time for.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Nick,
we'll
okay, let me try another one.
How
Let me
about-
try
how
another
about-
one.
Oh, okay.
Nick, have you got anything to say?
No.
I was going to say, you better go and check on your soup.
Actually, going back to the popping potatoes, what we are having with the soup is baked potatoes.
Baked
Ooh.
potato. Lovely.
Baked potatoes, soup, and some sausages.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting combo.
it's a lovely sort of wintry type late autumnal.
Yeah.
Soup and sausages.
Yeah. Now, do you dip your sausage into your soup, or is it on the side?
It's on the side. I mean,
Mm.
we're not a sausage dipping family.
You're not. No. Okay.
Interesting. What happens when people move back to Bristol? They become feral within weeks.
Yeah, we're all right sausage dippers over here.
And I think on that note, we're going to have to say goodbye.
Such a
Great segue. Great.
such good segue.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Holly. That's been brilliant.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure. It's really nice to speak to you both again. And
Thanks, Holly.
Release the clowns.
We're here talking to Alf Oldman, who's written many, many sketches for us, and he's chosen one of his favourites for us to listen to today. Hello, Alf. How are you doing?
Hello there. I'm very well, thank you.
Hurrah!
Yes, you are.
And thank you very much for taking time out of your gardening today to talk to us.
It's a pleasure. Gardening is a bit of a chore, but my wife is doing it at the moment, and hopefully she'll have finished by the time we finish this. And I can...
That's the spirit.
It's always the best thing to do with a chore, isn't it?
Well, it is. Although, was it the Karate Kid that learned how to do karate by painting a fence?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there is some validity to it.
And to be fair, I've never painted a fence and I can't do karate, so there is clearly some truth in it.
Yeah,
there
absolutely.
you go. That proves the theory, doesn't it?
Yeah. Definitive proof. Okay, so shall we have a listen to your sketch that you've chosen?
Yes, please. I'd
Do you
like
want
to.
to say anything before we listen to it, Alf?
No, I don't think so. Let's let it speak for itself, and then we'll see afterwards.
And so here's our sketch, The Gentle Art of Persuasion.
This is a tape-recorded interview with Stephen Smudger Johnson. I'm Detective Constable Mia Sargent. Now, Smudger, tell me, where were you last Saturday night?
At home with me missus.
All night?
Yep.
From what time?
Well, after I got home from the match, about 6:30.
Oh, come on, Smudger, let's not muck about. You and I both know that's not true.
No, straight up, Sergeant. Honestly, I was at home all night.
Detective Inspector Ounder entering the room. Evening, Smudger.
Mr. Roundup.
What's he been telling you, Sergeant?
He reckons he was at home all night, sir.
Tut, tut, oh dear, Smudger. And there's me thinking you might have learned after all these years. We just can't stand liars at this nick.
No, straight up, Mr. Roundup. Honest, you can ask me missus.
Don't insult my intelligence, son.
Why can't you people believe me for once?
Because you're a slag and a liar, Johnson. Always have been, always will be. Now, come on, own up. Let's have the truth.
Nancy Shaken Vat, cleaner, entering the room. Don't mind me, I've just got to run my little Henry around. Oh, hello, Smudger.
Hello, Nancy.
Lift your legs, love. Got to hoover under your chair. There you go. How are you keeping?
All right, thanks.
You're telling these fine detectives the truth, I hope?
Yeah.
He's lying through his back teeth, Nancy.
Oh, Smudger.
No, I'm not.
Now, you know I can't stand liars.
Ow! No, ouch! Get off, Nancy. Oh, God,
Own
that
up.
hurt.
Tell the truth, you little bastard.
Ow! Oh, God!
The Reverend Leviticus entering the room.
Morning, Vicar.
Oh, morning, Nancy. Good morning, Mr. Hounder, Sergeant.
Morning, Vicar.
Well, I never. Smudger Johnson, who'd have thought it? How are you, my boy?
Well, Nancy's been hitting me with her hoover.
Oh.
And Mr. Ander's been shouting at me and calling me a liar, Vicar.
Oh, dear, dear, dear. Been bearing false witness again, have we?
No, I've told him the truth.
Oh, come, Smudger. You surely know that lying is a mortal sin. If you don't start telling the truth now, you'll die and go to the eternal damnation of hell. Do you understand? Hell and damnation. Repent. Repent now, you little horrible
Get off
man.
me, Vicar! Ow! Ooh, no! Nancy, not the pet hair attachment! Ow! Oh! Ow!
Ross Kemp, entering the room.
Hello, Ross.
Hello, Mr. Hounder. Mia, Nancy, Reverend Leviticus. Well, I never. Smudger Johnson. Now, why am I not surprised to find you in here?
I haven't done nothing, I swear. I was at home with me missus all night.
I think you're telling me porky pies, old lad.
Ow! God! Ow! God!
Three officers from the Queen's own household cavalry entering the room.
Evening, Captain.
Evening, Captain.
Evening, Inspector Hounder. And who's this horrible little man?
Smudger Johnson, a liar and a cheat.
Is he indeed? Start assaulting him, Sergeant Major.
Yes, sir.
Ow!
A woman training an elephant entering the room. Good morning.
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 Nellie says she hears you've been telling lies, Smudger.
Ow! Oh, Christ almighty.
The beautiful can-can dancers from the Moulin Rouge entering the room.
On the 20th of January, at the Old Bailey, upon the compelling evidence of admissions made whilst in police custody, Stephen Smudger Johnson was found guilty of robbing the Bank of England, possessing a hammer with intent to demolish Windsor Castle, and melting the polar ice caps. And that's the last of our series with New Scotland Yard's Intimidation and Coercion Squad.
That is such a silly sketch.
Oh, well.
It
Thank
was all
you.
in the way it was put across by yourselves. I
Well-
think that's what sold it. It's the way it was. It's the way you did it.
Oh, no. You're underselling yourself there, because as soon as that sketch came in, when I read it, I was like, wow, this is brilliant.
Very kind of you.
I think because you came
you came on board after we did the open call.
Yes, that's right.
To get to get lots of new writers in, and we got lots of stuff coming. And there's quite a few writers who've been with us regularly since then, including yourself.
Right.
I think it was quite clear from the start that you got us, that you were in many ways as silly as we are.
Yeah, I sometimes think that what I have to do, I do get moments where I throw the silliness onto the paper, and what I should really do is think about it sometimes before I ping it off to you, I think. I have learned, a friend of mine does home brew, and he brews it, but you can't drink it straight away. It's got to sit there and mature, if that's the word.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I need to do with some of the things that I send your way. A silly idea bumps into my head. I quickly bash it all out on the word processor. It looks great, and I get so excited I send it straight away. I think it needs to sit there and mature, and then I need to come back to it. Forgive me, I'm talking too much.
No, not at all.
No, that is rather the purpose of this.
Yeah, that's how interviews work, Alf. Unless, I mean, I know we're not very good at doing this, but I think actually the idea of an interview is to get the interviewee to talk.
Yes.
Oh, well, when you're good at them, if I was Smudger Johnson, I'd confess straight away.
Yeah. I got to say, what I love about that sketch is it's got such a lovely rhythm to it, and the way you escalate is really nice.
And you did tweak it a little bit, and for the better too. I actually played that sketch to my wife. I don't play many of the things to her because I don't know, I feel shy about some of it. But I played this one to her. I said, "Oh, you'll love this." And she listened to it, and she listened to it. And the bits where she actually started to laugh was the tweaked bit that you yourselves have put in when the can ladies come in. I have to say that's very funny, but I thought, well, what about all the rest of it, dear?
I think that only works because of all the rest of it. That's that sort of build up to what on earth could possibly happen next. I mean, we've already had an elephant come into the room.
Yeah.
And there is a literal elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about audio stuff, of course, is you can do that sort of thing, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's actually something that anyone writing audio has to realise. You can do whatever you like. It doesn't add to the budget particularly.
Yeah.
You know, so why not do it?
Apart from facial expressions.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yes.
Please don't anyone write in with sketches that are composed entirely of facial expressions.
Yeah.
I don't know many mime artists that really made it on the radio.
No, not really. But also it's the way the characters are written is really lovely. You know, the Alex comes in as the detective hounder, and that sort of oh dear, tut 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 is so it's brilliant. And I was very well. I was so happy to be able to play Reverend Leviticus.
Whoever it was who played Ross Kemp did quite a reasonable impersonation.
Well, it's interesting actually, because I remember we had a chat in the studio, and that is a sort of side note. It's one of the things that's lovely about a sketch like this is that it is one of the ones that allows us to get everyone. In the studio and everyone involved, to the point where actually I think we had to leave it for one or two, maybe two sessions, before we could record it because we didn't have enough people. But yeah, with the Ross Kemp, I remember we had a discussion about how Ross Kemp talks.
Yeah.
And that sort of strange, stilted, it's almost like a publicly educated Cockney.
Yeah, well, I mean, you pulled it off, but you won't be able to get many actors together in that way anymore, will you?
Not at the moment.
No. We're working on a couple of things. So we got through on monologues, as you know, for a while, and now we've been doing these interviews shows, which have been really good fun.
Yeah, it's been really nice actually, especially catching up with people like you, who we don't know well.
We don't do it, but it's nice it's given us this opportunity. And,
yeah, absolutely. It's been really good fun.
I'd like to think it won't just be our first date. Well,
well, who knows? I mean, it depends what you're looking for, Alf.
Perhaps a bad choice of words by me there. What I mean is our relationship can build from here.
Yeah.
does that sound worse?
Yes. Yeah, I always like to think nothing's off the table. So.
Oh, good. Okay.
You're lucky, Alf. I have to sit next to him.
I'll get on with it. So I always get excited. Oh, phrase that one as well. I always get excited when I go to my emails and I see there's an email from you asking for material, and then I get carried away with myself creative wise and send a whole load of stuff to you. And
that's really nice to hear.
Yeah. And then we sit there and go, no, I don't know about this one.
I know, I'm sure there's that aspect to it, but if I chuck enough stuff your way, then something of it will stick.
Yeah, and I think that's another thing with your stuff. Actually, there's some things we receive from people, and it's definitely no.
Yeah.
With your stuff, a lot of it's really good straight away, but even the stuff that we think, are we sure, are we not? There's always a germ of something in there that we can work with. So there's been sketches like the Sue Peter sketches, for example.
Oh yes,
which we went a completely different way with.
You did, but it worked better.
And from your starting point there, that gave us something that we could really work with.
Yeah. So it's very good of you to allow us to do that.
Yes,
for certain things.
Absolutely.
That aside, I do feel I need to be a little more self-disciplined in the way that we said earlier. Allow something to rest for a day or two. Look at it again. Yes, that's good enough to send to Nick and Alex and see what they think.
Oh, I think why not? Also, there's the other thing of sometimes, and this isn't a criticism.
No, go on.
Well, it kind of is, but it isn't at the same time.
Hit me with it.
Is where you start a sketch and it's like, oh yeah, this is a good sketch, and then you've obviously had another idea that's at the same level as of a good idea, and then you start going down that route, and then you have another idea and start going down that route, and actually what we get is 3 good sketches in one sketch that
and
actually
you don't want 3 for the price of one
sketch.
You're not interested in 3 for the price of 1, are you? I'm learning.
In sketch comedy, that's not the way it tends to work.
No.
No, I'm with it now.
Yeah.
I'm learning and developing from my email correspondence with you, and from talking to you this morning. I've benefited as well.
I think going back to gentle art of persuasion, I think that's the really nice, one of the really lovely things about that sketch is that it takes one game and it works it
all the way
to its logical conclusion. And that idea, playing with that idea, that's something that, we've all, from watching cop films and cop shows, we're all really familiar with this idea of so-and-so entering or leaving the room and the recording. Just taking that idea and playing with that is just such a lovely idea.
Yeah.
I don't know how the creative process works for you, but for me, something triggers in my brain as being daft or silly. As I go about my normal life and my normal work, something triggers in my brain as being daft or silly, something I've seen, heard, or whatever it may be. And then I sit down and I expand on it or work it into a sketch. I was listening on the radio to John Cleese speaking about creativity, and he said the thing to do was to sit in a room, no distractions, turn the phone off, certainly not the telly or the radio, and sit there. But it doesn't work for me in quite that way. I kind of have to have the idea before I wander into the room, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah.
So ideas ping into my head like a lump of raw material that I then take into my little spare bedroom. Oh, this sounds awful. My little spare bedroom and sit there and mould into a sketch.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think the creative process is different for everybody.
Yes.
Number one. So you've got to find your own creative process. I mean, my one, it sounds similar to yours. So I'll be doing something like walking the dogs. And it's when I let my brain freewheel, and then it'll just suddenly stop at an idea.
Yes.
So, for example, for me, I had the idea for the Godfather sketches.
Oh yes,
where it's the Godfather has actually gone into real effort to learn to play, make balloons and all of that.
Yes,
but all of his godchildren just wanting to kill people for them. So I'd say about 80% of the sketches I think of while walking about the place.
So walking the dogs is quite a fruitful.
That's how it comes to me. And something, something sparks off a thought in your head, doesn't it? And then away you go.
Yeah, it's very rare for me to have an idea while sitting in my office at my computer.
No, that's death to ideas for me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we all feel much the same then. You just can't sit in a quiet room and somebody says to you, write something funny now. That's not the way it works, is it?
I have actually had a producer do that to me, except he banged the desk we were both sitting at and shouted in my face, "Be funny now."
I heard an anecdote about Spike Milligan once, who was apparently in some bar or something, and some chap came up to him, "You're a comedian, you go on then, say something funny." And he said to him, "What do you do?" He said, "I'm a carpenter." "Go on then," he says, "make me a table."
I just want to say, Alf, thank you for that sketch, which is just, I think, an absolute gem. And all the other stuff you've had on the show with us, it's been really wonderful that you have given us this stuff to do. You know?
I have to say, grappling with the weather is a favourite of mine.
That is very funny.
You did the accents very well. I like that one. And you also impressed me with your Scottish accents when we did the football.
Oh, yeah, the football one.
I have to say, I'm not impressed with my Scottish accent. I feel it wanders slightly. But the grappling with the weather was tremendous fun to do.
Fly body boat. No.
Oh, it's been a pleasure to talk to you both.
Thank you very much. Hope to see some stuff soon.
Yes.
I'm going to go and paint the fence now.
Okay. Have fun with that.
If it's not all done already.
Yes, indeed. All right.
Thanks, Alf.
Thanks, Alf.
We will mend it, we will spend it, we will release the clowns, clowns, clowns.
So next up, we're going to have a sketch from one of our writers who's been with us for quite a while now, a couple of years.
At least.
He's written a lot of really good sketches. Unfortunately, he can't be with us today, but he has chosen a favourite sketch.
Yes.
So let's listen to Robert Mills, Injury Lawyers.
Oh no! I've just had a message from Waitrose Home Delivery. Due to the current situation with the beastly COVID-19, my foie gras pâté with couscous, shiitake mushrooms and balsamic vinegar is out of stock. What a poor show! What the devil am I going to do?
Are you a posh twat? Do you need compensation because your weekly grocery delivery has been disrupted by a worldwide pandemic? Are you struggling to live on just 3 different types of Lebanese hummus a week?
Yes, actually, I am.
Are you uncertain where your husband's next pair of chinos and cashmere sweater will come from? You know, the ones he drapes around his neck while wearing slip-on shoes and no socks, like a chinless bellend attending the garden party of an old university chum who now works as a wealth manager and who gives his children weird names like Ethan, Figgy and Augustus.
Well, of course.
And have you been bawling your Botox-infused eyes out just because the coronavirus has put an end to your weekly spa sessions where you spaff your husband's money up the wall lying on your middle-class, mole-covered back with your friend Ophelia from the Bridge Club, having a cucumber, avocado and aloe vera facial, listening to whale sounds while the aroma of jojoba and ylang ylang drifts through the air?
Abso-bloody-lutely.
Then we're here to help, you overprivileged, smug, self-entitled tit. Here at Red Trouser Lawyers, we understand what it's like to be a posh knob down on their luck. For all the inconvenience you've experienced of not having your weekly tarama salata, we will compensate you by arranging for the MD of your online shopping retailer to be hanged, drawn and quartered on your massive front lawn and their dangly bits cut off and made into truffles, while you and your witless husband sit watching, quaffing pims and laughing like orgasmic hyenas. And if you sign up today, we'll give you a £250,000 voucher for you to spend on kale.
Crikey, that's totes amazing. Thanks awfully, Red Trouser Lawyers.
Call us today on 0800 555, quoting, "My husband's a red trouser wearing cock." Terms and conditions apply. Posh wankers only, subject to status. Your home is at risk if you set it on fire. I like monster munching wearing crotchet thongs. Satan is God, COVID-19 is a pedo. I nearly got the X Factor voiceover job.
No, that's a good sketch, that, isn't it?
It's a very good sketch. I enjoyed that.
The problem for me talking about that sketch, of course, is I'm one of the main actors in the sketch.
You are one of the main actors.
So it seems a bit disingenuous for me to... Is that the right word?
No.
It seems a bit...
arrogant
for me to go, well, what a marvellous performance that was.
Full of yourself.
By that man, yeah, okay, thank you.
Lovely wanker.
Yeah, thank you. So therefore, I think we should concentrate on the writing and Robert and his contribution to Release the Clowns.
We'll concentrate on that, but I will also say it is a really well performed sketch.
By
actually,
Holly.
Robert sent us a little bit about why he chose that. So I think I'll read that.
I think that's a good idea.
So
yeah, do it. Nice
he
and loudly.
says, I'm choosing this sketch because when I was writing it, the ideas flowed, which doesn't always happen when writing sketches. It's also my favourite because it was brilliantly performed by Holly as the posh woman and Nick doing the voiceover.
Oh, love you, Rob.
He absolutely nailed the fast talking bit at the end. Also, kudos to producers Alex and Nick for letting quite a few naughty words get through in this sketch.
Now that's an interesting thing because often in Release the Clowns we don't have that much curse words.
No.
Not too much potty mouth.
Not too much adult content.
No. But that sketch really was made by it. I don't think you could have done that sketch without
absolutely.
calling them posh knobs or all the twats and all that sort of thing, because you need that level of anger.
I think we might have edited slightly to get a couple of swear words out, or changed them slightly.
Yeah,
softened them perhaps a little.
Yeah, just a bit from whatever they were previous.
But I think Rob's absolutely right. They're really good performances, and Holly does a fantastic job.
Yes, she does. Oh, it's wonderful. And of course, because we were doing this during lockdown, she was recording her bit from her house, and I was recording my bit in my house, so it's really good that she was able to do her side as if I was saying things to her.
Yeah, well, I think actually it's also credit to Rob, because when we put the call out for sketches during lockdown, obviously we emphasised monologues, and what we got back was a lot of monologues, which is fine because a lot of them were very good. But that's one of the few sketches we got back that actually had an idea that enabled us to use more than one person.
Yes, very easily. Yeah.
Very easily. So it was perfectly set up for an audio recording in separate places.
Yeah, exactly. Which is very useful, and a trick we're probably going to have to use in the next months.
Yes.
But I think it's a wonderfully written sketch. He's got a lot of anger, really well directed, and I just love that. Red trouser lawyers.
I think it just perfectly nails a particular type of entitled obliviousness to the rest of the world.
Yes, that's it. Yes. We've all met these people, I think. Obviously, I've met a lot more than you have, because I'm quite posh.
Yeah.
And you're from Fareham.
I've heard about these people.
Oh, they're a pain. In fact, if you were to go from your family home in Fareham and just hang around either the Red Funnel ferry terminal in Southampton or the White Link ferry terminal in Portsmouth, you would see a lot of red-trousered idiots heading to their holiday homes on the Isle of Wight, which is where most of I think 85% of the red-trousered twats in the country holiday in the Isle of Wight.
You've got a holiday home, haven't you, Nick?
Yes, I do.
Where is it?
Oh, it's on the Isle of Wight. Oh, no. Arse.
But so back to Robert's sketch. That's as much as we can probably say about the sketch without Robert to talk to, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you could tell it flowed. I mean, the ideas do flow really well.
Well, what I will say is, so when we originally put the open call out for sketches, and for new writers, obviously we got an awful lot back that was completely unusable. Robert was one of those who seemed to hit the mark really early. Sketches like The Wake.
That's a very funny sketch.
Extremely funny. The prostate sketch.
Now,
which is not big, it's not clever, but it's a great deal of fun.
Oh yeah, no, that one, it was one of those ones. It's a pullback to reveal.
Yes.
Which now we've both read a lot of sketches in our time, and I didn't see that coming, which was really nice.
Well, no, because the reveal is something of a non sequitur, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, and that it's really clever, and therefore worked really well. A lot of pullbacks to reveals, you can see it coming.
Yeah,
like a herd of wildebeest charging across the plain.
That's what makes them so often awful.
Yes, and so that's why that one worked really well.
The chainsaw.
Oh yeah,
sketch.
That was another lockdown sketch.
Yes.
So thank you, Rob, for helping us through lockdown by getting us a couple of really good sketches in.
And also thank you for getting us, for writing sketches for us, and for consistently hitting the mark.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the that supermarket runner.
Oh yeah,
that's sublime as well. So Rob, thank you.
Thank you.
And now we're going to go on to the next sketch.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just like that. We haven't forgotten you, Rob. And
No.
It probably feels like we have.
Thank you again.
See, it's quite awkward saying... You know how awkward it is saying goodbye to people on Zoom calls?
Yes.
When no one wants to... Everyone's trying to get out, but no one wants to actually look like they're looking for the button to click off. It's more awkward getting out of a conversation with someone who isn't there.
It is difficult.
It seems to be.
I'm surprised it's taken us this long.
Yeah,
actually. You'd think we'd be able to just go, that's the end of it.
Ultimately, the end of it, we'll still both be sitting here and we're the only people who are talking.
It's an existential nightmare. It's like something Jean-Paul Sartre has written. Hell is not having other people there.
And on that note, thanks, Rob.
Thanks, Rob.
Release the clowns.
Okay, so we're here with our writer, performer, social media guru,
the Nawab of the networks,
Dan Willis.
Hello. Lovely
Hello,
to be
Dan.
here.
And Dan's been with us about a year and a half. Is it a year and a half?
Coming up on that, yeah, year and a half now. It's been a whirlwind.
Yeah. It's a whirlwind, all right. And today, though, we're going to focus on your sketch. I was going to say sketchy abilities, but that sounds horribly wrong. Sketch writing, and we got a sketch that went out in show number 70 for anyone who's interested, and it's called Unexploded Device Museum.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Museum of Unexploded Devices. I'll be your tour guide for the day, guiding you very carefully around the exhibits and hopefully coming out the other side in about 45 minutes. There's a gift shop at the end with lots of memorabilia you can buy to commemorate your visit, as well as some replica gift devices, or as we like to call them, duds. Now, does anyone have any questions before we head in? Yes, you, madam.
Is it very dangerous?
No, but I will just double check that you've all signed the waiver form that prohibits you from suing the museum, or indeed any form of foreign power in case of injury.
Can we take photos?
Unfortunately not. Ironically, I'm going to have to ask you to switch off all electronic devices. Any flash photography will probably result in an even bigger flash. If you want to, you can store all your belongings in the hurt lockers over to the side. Any unattended baggage will be removed and may be displayed.
Is the tour wheelchair accessible?
Yes, madam. I will say it didn't used to be, but we did suddenly see a need for it with a lot of the returning visitors.
Is it just World War II devices displayed?
No, sir. We have all sorts of exhibits. We will pass through the Blitz bombs display, but the museum also has a fine collection of Vietnamese trip mines,
I love those.
Gulf War IUDs, and even some leftover barrels from the Great Gunpowder Plot of 1605.
Exciting.
Unfortunately, the west side of the museum is closed, but you wouldn't want to go through there anyway. It's a real minefield. Well, it appears our tour's just got a little bit shorter. So, after we pass through the Gulf War exhibit, we'll probably just scout around the rubble, and then we'll finish in the TNT section, which I think you'll really love. It's absolute dynamite. Any last questions before we head in?
Yes. How do I get this audio guide remote to work?
The audio... What? No, wait, stop! That's a detonator!
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for visiting the Unexploded Device Museum today. Please exit to the left and remember to leave a TripAdvisor review if you were truly blown away.
Wonderful stuff. Well done.
Thank you. Delightfully silly.
Talk us through that then.
God, where do you start? I don't really know where that came from. Oh wait, no, I'll tell a lie. I do know, because I was in Soho where I work, and there was an unexploded World War II bomb which shut down Soho. I don't know if you remember, for like it was like a week or so. They kept finding new ones.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh well, that's kind of cool. And everyone wanted to go see it. Everyone was coming up to the barrier and go, I want to see it. I want to see it. And the police said, no, of course you can't see it. And I thought, well, what if there was a place where you could go and see it?
No, I think one of the things I love about that sketch is obviously the sketch, but the crowd, the sort of little ad-libby just stuff that happens, because you got
this quality hubbub.
Yeah, because you got Phil Whelans and Phil Nice in the same hubbub with Joe Tilly. And the three of them make this wonderful, just those little extra remarks that come off the ends of things.
Yeah, that's something you guys definitely helped with in the editing process, because you suddenly realise he's saying these things and he needs an audience, especially for someone to say, oh, I love those. I love Vietnamese trip mines.
Well, I think Joe ad-libbed that, didn't he?
Yeah, she did. I think it's one of those really nice things where we get a chance to have a sketch where we've got a lot of us in the room together and just see what comes out of that. And it's just such a perfect setup for random idiots to say things. the sort of people who are following a guide around an unexploded device museum. What would they say?
Yes, and I think it's the line of don't leave your bags around or they may be taken away and displayed. That line I thought was one of the most elegantly done jokes I've ever seen. I just loved that. So well done, you.
Thank you. I was when it got to Hurt Lockers, some film fans might be like, aha. But that is very niche. So I'll give you that.
I like that. But I like that you don't shy away from a pun either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really is dynamite.
That's the thing. Yeah. If you're gonna have bombs, there's got to be puns.
Because I always think bombs, puns. They go.
Yeah, definitely.
Like cheese and pickle, bombs and puns, pint and castella.
I also like the way that the nothing disturbs the routine of the museum. Landmine goes off over here. It's like, well, we'll shorten our trip a little bit.
They've gone through so many different exhibits. They just keep bringing in more. It's a hazardous job.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get too close to your colleagues. You don't want to get too pally with them, because you never know where they're going to end up.
You can't take your work home with you at the end of the day.
You can't take your work home with you.
No, Dave did that.
Yeah. Took out his whole row of houses.
I do love the line, wheelchair access. We didn't have, but we have found it useful with our returning customers. The idea contained in that someone who's already had lost the use of their legs because of their visit to the museum will then come back.
Yeah.
There's always new things to look at. I like to think what would be in the memorabilia shop, because I put that in at the start. And now I have no idea what would be in there. Unexploded sticks of dynamite.
Well, those lighters shaped like hand grenades.
Oh, yes.
First aid kits.
It's just if you make it through, here's the stuff to patch you up.
Tripwire tooth floss.
Oh, that's nice. I like that. Maybe some of those claymores, that they're always putting in.
They're always putting out claymores, aren't they?
Always claymores.
Isn't that a sword?
It is. I don't know why they do.
Why are you putting swords all over the place in the jungle?
I think unexploded bombs get a bad rep generally.
Yeah,
I
because
think
it's really the exploding ones that are the problem.
yeah, but also everyone thinks they're very boring, but you know they're very clever.
But the thing about them is they're very boring right up until the point when they're not.
Yeah. They're really only interesting for a very short time, but boy, it's a ride.
They are exciting right then. Well, we're going to have to draw this to a close, I'm afraid. But thank you very much, Dan.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Thanks also for the sketches. I love Unexploded Device Museum. The minimalism for millennials is another favourite of mine as well.
And there's the ads.
Yes.
The guy from ads selling an ad campaign that has no ads. It's blank. That's a really elegant sketch as well.
Everyone's going to know who you are. You're the people who don't have any advertising.
You can tell I've had a couple of years jaded in advertising.
Oh yes, yes.
Well, that's the beauty of it. You see, all every day where you're working and thinking, crikey, I wish I could go on a rampaging gun rage. What you're doing is storing up material.
Yeah, and I'll fire it out on a page and it turns into a script.
Hooray! There you go. Well, keep mining that disappointment.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Dan. And we will see you hopefully sometime together in the same place again this century.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Yes,
Hurrah!
I would hope so.
Okay.
Hope so.
Thanks, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Keep in touch.
See you later,
thanks,
Dan.
Guys.
Have fun.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Release the clowns!
And we're here with one of our newer writers, actually, Zoe Brown, who's written some lovely stuff for us and gave us especially what we're going to hear now, which is one of the highlights of what I like to call the lockdown monologues. So here we are with Zoe Brown's Zombie Apocalypse Dating, Part 1.
Hello? Hello? Is this thing working? Is anyone there? Can anyone hear me? You have to excuse me. I'm a bit out of breath. I've just been running. Turns out one major advantage of a zombie apocalypse is it does up your fitness levels. You should see my abs. If only I'd known before I renewed my gym membership. Still, can't be helped now. Okay, this is a long shot, but I'm hoping anyone might hear this. I can't be the only survivor, can I? Hello? So, okay, a bit about me. My name is Sarah, I'm 32, and I guess I'm looking for, well, any adult male, really. I mean, it was hard meeting a partner before the fall of mankind, what with working long hours and commuting, living in a big, soulless city. It honestly felt like everyone was a zombie. Now everyone actually is a zombie. Makes me laugh now. But if you'd told me 28 days ago a man would only want me for my brains, I'd have been flattered. Be careful what you wish for, eh? Oh, God. Pull yourself together, Sarah. To think, I didn't even notice at first. It just seemed ridiculous. The entire human race undead. I thought it was just a normal day at work. You know how unfriendly people are on the tube. And even when I saw Lucy eating brains in the office canteen, I just thought, wow, that's a weird superfood. I guess she's not vegan anymore. I mean, can you blame me? Lucy was always on some kind of fad diet. So here I am, all alone. Sarah, adult female zombie apocalypse survivor. And yes, I'm not proud. I'd literally settle for the last man on earth. Looks are unimportant. And full disclosure, my personal grooming regime is at an all-time low. But you must have a functioning penis and want kids. It's not what I'd normally lead with, dating-wise, but we have to repopulate the human race. Needs must. Oh,
and I could do with someone upbeat. I'll be honest, the constant zombie bludgeoning is really starting to get me down. Get off! Anyway, my hobbies are running, hiding, foraging and cross-stitch. Combat skills and own Bunker a Plus. Zombies need not apply. Please. I'm so alone.
that laugh of despair that she does halfway through, honestly, every time I hear that, it just makes me, it's like, it's just that, honest to God, she brought that to life so well. And I think because of the time it went out as well, it was just, it kind of felt like that, didn't it? Because all the streets were empty. And I don't know, I just thought that's definitely kind of my reaction to that.
Yeah, I definitely caught the mood of that moment. It probably helps actually that Holly recorded that sitting in the cupboard under the stairs.
Yes.
She?
Eating things from a jar.
But she literally, that one she did record on her phone in the cupboard under the stairs.
Wow, the quality is amazing for that then. That is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the good thing from my point of view for the sound editing was it wasn't supposed to sound clean because it's coming with the radio hash and all of that.
And
so
with the zombie moans in the background.
Oh, with the zombie moans in the background. So that one, when she originally sent me the file, I thought, oh, this is a bit dirty, and then I thought, that's okay. It's an advantage. And subsequently, she's got herself a really nice microphone.
So, which would have ruined it, I guess, in a way.
Useless.
Yeah, useless. Honestly,
it would have been useless for the purposes of it. Honestly, when I heard that come out, I was like, that's so much more than I imagined that would be.
Holly's been with us.
So chuffed.
Oh, brilliant. That's good. Well, Holly will be happy to hear that.
Holly's been with us since, I think, the second recording session.
I think so.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I tweeted her at the time because I listened and I was like, you're amazing. But that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you write something and you kind of have an idea about how you want it to sound. And then when you really hear something just given so much more, that really makes it come to life. It's so incredible to sort of see how that collaboration works, you know what I mean? And of course, you do the editing and the sound effects. And it's really interesting, I think, to see that process as well.
Yeah, it's a really good example, though, because we've had this discussion a few times in these shows about performance versus writing, which one matters most. But in that case, actually, it was, I mean, that is what you put on the page. The desperate laugh is what you put on the page. So you built that environment, that atmosphere, and Holly just took it on, and it absolutely is a 50-50 collaboration.
Yeah, well, it really is, isn't it? I mean, I think that's the thing. I mean, you have to appreciate that all creative work, I think, is so much, everybody's putting stuff into it that is adding to what it is at the end. And there's not one, I don't think there's any one part of that can really sort of have precedence over the other. I mean, I think a good actress or actor can make stuff that is, you know, not fantastic come alive in a way that it wouldn't with somebody else. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I think there's so much in it. And that's the thing, the more you do, the more you realise that you have to rely on other people and you have to give things to other people that they are really good at in order to make something at the end that is the best it can possibly be. You know, I think that's quite a good example of that. And of course, then it triggered so much more as well, didn't it? So you did, what was his name, the first guy?
Ralph.
Oh, yeah, bless him.
Oh, Ralph.
Ralph. Do you know what? I really liked Ralph. It's one of those occasions when I was writing something that actually I just thought, I just like you. You're a nice person.
Yeah, he had like a real kind of like upbeat heart to him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like triumph of hope over experience.
Nothing was going to get him down.
I mean, even sticking with his wife when it was clear that she was one of the undead, because, you know, till death do us part.
Yes, and then not even that.
Reanimation after death. But no, I just thought, yeah, he was such a sweetheart. He was so very, very sweet. And again, that was quite an interesting thing to sort of see how you took that and then made that something else. So it was like a sort of a little bit of a tennis match with it.
Yeah.
It was really lovely.
It was really enjoyable.
Yeah, it was really nice.
And then we had you played the record executive.
Yes.
Oh yeah, he was just like
seems like a
green, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Kind of type, but a little bit more lecherous.
Yeah.
What's the name of the song he'd written?
Oh, it was some kind of like Euro pop kind of
Euro pop rubbish. Yeah.
Right.
It was the key tits.
or as I intonated it, bikini tits.
Well, you know, it's probably a problem. I was reading something the other day about preppers and bunkers.
Oh yeah.
On topic about how they have these like massive kind of conferences where they look at gadgets that you can put in your high-end bunker, but a lot of the discussion forums are around how do you keep your staff from killing you to take over your bunker.
Wow.
Because obviously, I mean, this is the thing. It's just like, what kind of world do you live in? Maybe not be an asshole. Perhaps.
Yeah, but that's the weird thing. The weird thing about that, I think, is that these are people who genuinely spend all of their time, their entire existence, in a world which is not apocalyptic, preparing for how they're going to just about manage to survive in an apocalyptic world.
Yeah,
why would you do that? Why not just why is this world beyond what's happening now so much more important than actually just getting on and enjoying life now?
I know it's a very odd thing, isn't it? It's like that. And maybe they just don't have enough to worry about. Maybe they just need a little bit more everyday stress in their life so that they can not worry about ridiculous things like how to stop their staff from taking their food, like putting, you know, fingerprint things on a fridge or whatever. They're just going to chop your hands off, aren't they? I mean, just...
At which point we realised that you've thought this through a lot more clearly than they have.
This is the thing. Your head just spirals off into like, well, clearly, I mean, I'm not going to be the rich person in this scenario, but I could probably plot to kill them if I was in a bunker with them. So yeah, I guess.
Well, this is the danger. This is the danger of knowing comedy writers. I think what I think one of the things that comedy writers are very inventive, and they're always thinking so many steps ahead.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're going to put a thumbprint on that thing. Well, obviously, I'll just cut your hand off.
Yeah.
I'm already there, and you haven't even bought that gadget yet.
Yeah, and it doesn't even exist yet. But it's like because you're expanding like to the nth degree of where something can go. I mean, you might not write the nth degree, but you're definitely exploring that. That, you know, your head just kind of goes off in so many different directions. Many of them completely fanciful and unrealistic, and that kind of doesn't matter. But no, you're absolutely right. Just that, and the darkness as well. The darkness is part of it, because I think that's a real germ of comedy itself. It's like, what was it Dennis Norden said? It's the temporary absence. A joke is the temporary absence of sympathy.
Oh, that's like, nice. I like that.
Yeah, it's like the tiny little like jab. Or is it a joke is misery plus time?
Oh, who was that?
Something that is painful that you have distance from.
Yeah, misery plus time. That I know. I'm thinking, is that Sid Caesar or something like that?
Yeah, but I think it's true. There has to be that kind of like slight darkness to it. It's not darkness really, is it? It's just like laughing at your own misfortune, perhaps, or recognisable failure.
It's of shared cruelty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, what is it? A laugh. It's in evolutionary terms, as a reaction, a laugh is actually, it's an expression of relief. It's an expression of relieved surprise when the moment of danger that you're expecting doesn't transpire.
Yeah, and the unexpected element of it as well. You're right. The surprise is like unexpected.
But also, actually, arguably, the biggest relief is when one of the other apes get eaten and you don't.
Yeah, well, maybe that is true.
And
Yeah.
that's where that moment of cruelty comes in.
But we have like a really particular humour, I think, in England. I think we're quite sort of wordy, wordplay-y. You know, there's quite a lot of like game around homonyms and things that like being misconstrued, that not quite understanding something, awkwardness. There's a lot of that because I think that's our. I think that humour is very culturally specific as well, because a lot of jokes or sketches, whatever, kind of set up with, oh, you know that thing that we all know, and people go, yeah, and they're like, okay, so it's about this thing. So you have to establish the common knowledge. And I think when you look at things sometimes from abroad, there seems to be, like Italy, for example, I think is quite slapsticky humour.
Yes. Yeah.
Crap falls and your tits fall out. Do you know what I mean? It's like that kind of stuff.
Happens to me every day.
Yeah, well,
I think the English language creates quite a lot of grey areas.
Yes.
Because it is, like, for example, my wife's Polish, and one of the things that surprised me most about the Polish language when I first started to understand it at all was that actually you can trust all of the letters. They might have all of these odd words, odd consonant clusters and things like that. But actually, if this letter is there, this is what it sounds like all the time. Whereas in English, that is not remotely.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Our language is a reflection of us, much as, like, you know, bloody far right in Kent don't want to hear it. We are a nation of mongrels. Our language is a mongrel language with like lots of stuff shoved in it. Doesn't really make any sense. It's got bits from here and bits from there, and that's what I really love about it. I love that
it makes it incredibly versatile, incredibly flexible, and it means that actually there are all these little points where you can you can just get a little wedge into it, lever open that crack, and find something funny.
Yeah, skewer things and kind of like push those misunderstandings and actually kind of skew. No, I think we've got a great language, and I absolutely love it. I bought myself something. This is my birthday gift to myself because I'm such a nerd. I'll just show you this. Oh, I love this book, Roger.
Yes.
So I just like to say the defendant is holding up a book, Robin Thesaurus of English words and phrases.
I love this so much because it really makes you realise that when you say a word, what you actually mean, what type of meaning from that word do you actually mean? Really, really nail it down. And then I think that kind of, I just find it really, really helpful. I mean, literally, I could read this. I love it. I spend a lot of time with this book. It's my little gift to myself. Yes.
My birthday gift to myself, I think, was bar of chocolate. That shows we're on very different intellectual.
Oh yeah, but look, this is my book.
Oh,
I know, this is my book, and how cool is that? Thank you, Eva.
It's Chad.
It's Chad, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got the other one as well.
That's brilliant.
Now, I'm afraid we're going to have to go.
Oh, you've got the people. It's been so lovely talking to you and actually seeing real people. It's so nice.
Yeah. Well, we must do this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool.
But also, we will want you to write some more stuff at some point.
Yes, I will.
Are you happy to do that?
Absolutely, always happy to do
we
that.
love the stuff.
I'm going to get the shit out of my brain and give it to somebody else, to be honest.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about that at all, actually. I think because we did a while ago an open call for writers through a couple of points, and we got quite a lot of new writers from that. But Zoe didn't come through that at all. Zoe found us.
I did. I tracked you down.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'm so happy about that because all the stuff you've done for us has just been lovely.
Yeah.
Really lovely.
Thank you.
And very, very you as well. There's
it's so you.
It's very distinct.
I know, I do, yeah. A slightly acerbic, cynical, bitter old lady's voice.
That's not how I'd characterise it. You're the one with the thesaurus, so who am I to say?
Anyway, because that's the thing, you have to get out of your head, otherwise it just stays in there, and then what do? You go mental, don't you, eh?
Yeah. I've got a lot of writing to do.
Yeah.
A lot of writing. I've got a lot of crap in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to have to go.
Happy writing.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And see you soon.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye 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 bye.
Bye bye. Thanks.
Release the Clown starred Holly Meacham, Phil Whelans, Casper Michaels, Dan Willis, Joe Tilley, Barnaby Edwards, Karen Morden, Alex Marion, Nick Hildred, Martin Hyder, Phil Nice and Simon Edwards. It was written by Zoe Brown, Dan Willis, Robert Mills, Alf Oldman, Jamie McLeish and Andrew Kirkwood. The social media apparatchik is Dan Willis, and masterminding the whole operation from the Kremlin are the producers Nick Hildred and Alex Marion. Now, if you're a writer who's wanting to make your female characters leap off the page but aren't sure how, fear not. Joanna Tilley is here to help. With years of comedy and writing experience, Joanna is offering writers her insights into how to create authentic, multi-dimensional female characters. Just head on over to joannatilley.com to find out how Jo can be your script companion and take your writing to the next level. See you in 2.